This is the semifinals tactical preview of the League of Legends 2020 World Championship match between G2 Esports as the representative from the LEC first seed and Damwon Gaming as the LCK's first seed representative. Once again, to look at the profile of these two teams, we covered this in the last time that we covered at the quarterfinals, and I think G2, there is a change. For last time, we weren't too sure as to what they would show up and how they would be playing, but they showed in the quarterfinals match against Gen.G Gaming that G2 is capable of playing through the farming jungle style, which makes them the most flexible team in the tournament at the moment, as they have options to play to lanes and they have options to play towards the jungle and can be facilitated from either side lane. The mid-game lane assignment still remains the same, with the G2 pick style, where they play on 2 lanes and collapse onto 1, and the objective control has been solid, from what they've demonstrated thus far. Damwon Gaming, on the other hand, this is a jungle-focused team in the early stages, should they choose to play for the jungle, and there's 2 modes that they can play for, and largely they have been electing to go for this scaling teamfight style, where they play towards the jungle early, and then enable the scaling options to come in to win team fights around the later drakes. However, they are shown to be playing on 3 lanes and they have weak objective control, at least in the setup portion of it. But should they be able to successfully set up on an objective, they have demonstrated an ability to control the space rather decently, at least against opponents who do not have the engaged tools or strong punishing abilities to punish them when they walk through the chokes in the initial setup. Also in Damwon's arsenal is the ability to play towards top lane as well. This is when the team style would change a little bit, where they'll play a laning focus towards Naguri, and they'll facilitate this towards mid and top. Should they have their hands on the likes of Haven and alternatively, this is something that they can opt to do. So the last time these two teams faced off, we talked about the farm efficient style of the LCK teams being punished by the tempo efficient style, and this is what we saw in 2019. In games 1, 3, and 4 the G2 won, we can see all these 3 moments before disaster scenarios where we see Damwon Gaming fanning out and trying to play on 3 lanes while G2 is ahead on the map, resulting in G2 rapidly collapsing on one side of the map, finding a pick on the cross map or on the mid lane that nets them a huge advantage and puts G2 in the driver's seat for the game. The one game that they lost, however, was on the back of fantastic team fighting coming through from Naguri's cannon, which seems to be a pick that he has also picked up for the Season 10 World Championship. The question is, has Damwon Gaming learned the lesson? And the short answer is, I do not think so. In the games against Dragon X, we do see them continuing with this 3 lane style of play. In the first game, while they were on blue side, as you can see here, 23 minutes, they are once again behind on the map, and they once again choose to elect to answer the neutral wave on the bottom side of the map to try to maximize farm for themselves instead of securing the map control. While Dragon X was not able to punish this, you can see here that there definitely was options for them to make a collapse on the top lane here to find a pick on either the Graves, Leona, or Syndra, should Dragon X be a team like G2 who enjoys playing on 2 lanes and finding picks in these type of opportunity. And in game 2 of the series, going back to game 1, however, you can argue that maybe this is Damwon having a read on Dragon X's composition, where they look at their team comp and realize that, okay, Dragon X doesn't really have all the much engaged tools, and they can thus get away with this farm efficient playstyle, as a pick is unlikely to happen, as Dragon X doesn't have the necessary engage to make such a play. In game 2 of the same series, we do see a similar mistake, although not exactly in the same scenario, but we do see Dragon X engaging on the bottom side of the map while they themselves are playing in 3 lanes. Twisted Fate in this case, being played by Showmaker, is still answering the neutral wave on the top side of the map while the rest of his team is trying to make a collapse onto the opponent's red buff. Dragon X responds in kind and wins this fight in a rather commanding fashion. If we were to look back at the group stage once again and look at even compositions that have higher levels of engage, Damwon Gaming still does not respect this, where they repeat the exact same play against JD Gaming in their loss of day 6 of the group stages, where once again you see somebody pushing on the top lane, answering the neutral wave at a point of time, and we see this rotation into the opponent's jungle once again, that it's answered in kind by JD Gaming, who also takes this fight in the winning trade. So, has Damwon Gaming learned their lesson? I doubt so. So if we were to map out what's likely going to be happening in this game, I think the early game we should expect some form of map control exchange, and there'll be some interesting interactions around Dragon versus Rift Herald. But once the turret platings fall and the map starts to be opened up, this is where G2 will start to exploit Damon's tendency to play on 3 lanes before neutral objectives, or a soul point starts before the neutral objective of Baron, or soul point starts to become a major threat in the game itself. And after those objectives become relevant towards the win condition of the game, we would see team fights in which G2 will punish Damwon Gaming's sloppy setup. So I do think that this is rather favored towards G2, but Damwon Gaming has been able to bridge for these weaknesses using these two champions, the likes of Ornn and Cannon. Nuguri so far has been playing the role of scaling team fighter, which suits the overall strategy that Damwon is trying to apply when approaching their games, and these two champions has bridged or rather serve as a very functional crutch for Damwon in their mistakes in setting up for objectives. Cannon's ability to control team fights, be it being late to the rotation or being late to the play simply by TPing in on a big flank, or having the Ornn simply being able to engage from a distance should they not have the right control on the chokes accordingly. However, if G2 does identify this, they can definitely aim to exploit this during the draw phase with the likes of Set, which will remove a lot of Ornn's efficiency in being able to bridge or be the crutch for Damwon's weaknesses in setting up for these team fights. Or should Nuguri blind pick the cannon like he tends to have done so far, the likes of a Nico or Ryze could be the options for Wonder, so the G2 can find themselves in a favorable situation, not just in lane, but in the team fight as well. If you still want to know what my prediction is, please do give this video a like and do consider subscribing to my channel. If you've done that already, here comes the prediction. Well, it's just two numbers to be fair, but I do think that this will be a 3-1 in G2's favor, with the one game that they lose being a big 5-man cannon flank from Nuguri winning one game for Damwon in the series. Why so? You see the reasons on your screen, and I think that the LCK team still do not fundamentally understand how is it that they have been losing to G2 over the past years. And with that is the semi-finals tactical preview between G2 and Damwon Gaming. And I do think that while many people are hyping up this series, I think this should be a repeat of the quarterfinals from last year, where G2 comes out ahead simply because of Damwon Gaming's tendency to play on 3 lanes and their weaknesses around neutral objective control. Well, this was it for my tactical preview. This content was brought to you by Jensen. And once again, please do like this video and consider subscribing to my channel. Your support is very much appreciated. Have a nice day and get hyped for Worlds.